Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with some Master League with Southampton. I think this is episode number 7, which is pretty good to be considering that in the last, in PES 2014, there were only 13 episodes in my first season at Swansea. So of course this is probably about the halfway mark, coming up to the halfway mark anyway, which isn't too bad. Well, actually it probably will be just under the halfway mark, considering that halfway is usually at the January transfer window, which we're not at yet anyway. But in this episode today we have 3 matches from the Premier League, 2 matches against the 2 North London sides, hence the title of this video, and of course Tottenham are first, Arsenal will be the last match of this episode, and the middle match is against Sunderland. So of course in the last episode we did fail against Liverpool quite badly with a 2-0 loss, but we did beat the likes of, if I'm trying to remember, Hull and was it West Ham? Yeah, we just about struggled past West Ham, which is quite bad. But anyway, game against Tottenham, of course, Tottenham are quite a good team in this game as well. PES 2015, Tottenham are probably one of those teams which you don't really like playing against. They actually have bought Blazikowski from Borussia Dortmund. I believe he's from Borussia. Yeah, he's from Borussia Dortmund. So they bought him, the Polish winger, who's basically going up against, I think it's Ryan Bertrand in this match, which sounds quite tasty, to be honest, in terms of versus. Anyway, again, this episode again has no audio. Again, the whole file was corrupt in terms of audio wise, which is quite frustrating because, you know, audio always sort of adds to it. Anyway, in the 11th minute of the match here, Blazikowski plays it through to Emmanuel Adebayor's through on goal. Nothing Vlad Kirchhez can do, and Adebayor, fortunately for me, hits the post, which is goddamn very fortunate. But into the 40th minute here, Lloris makes an absolute fantastic save from Graziano Pella, long shot, and from the resulting corner kick, J. Rodriguez here gets the ball, ends up eventually getting it down into his stride, to be honest, runs past about 4 or 5 players before he eventually plays it back. Pella can't get to it, and it gets cleared nice and easily. So basically, it was a bit fortunate in the first half that we had a couple good shots. They basically had that one opportunity with Emmanuel Adebayor, which they messed up quite badly. Of course, 0-0 at half-time, not too bad. Of course, Tottenham, one of those teams like the likes of Liverpool and teams like that. Of course, as you see there, at half-time, they had 3 shots, 0 on target. We had that 1 shot from Graziano Pella. But going into the 60th minute here, as Fraser Force makes a good save from a Christian Eriksen shot, we basically, from that opportunity, we end up getting the ball down to the other side with, what's his name? J. Rodriguez, and Jack Cork should probably have put that way, but he ended up making a very, 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 very poor opportunity to even get a chance away there. But in the last minutes of the match here, Shane Long, who'd come on as a substitute as well as Thomas Rosicky, who gets played through on goal and scores past his former rivals, of course, with him being an Arsenal player still technically on loan at Southampton. He scores a goal literally in the last minute of the match to give us the 1-0 victory, which is, well, what you can probably gonna suspect is going to be the 1-0 victory. But going to the last minutes of the match here, Adebayor gets another shot away. It's not a good save from Fraser Forces. Goes out for a corner kick, and from the resulting corner kick, nothing comes to nothing. It comes to absolutely nothing, as you see there. So 1-0 to Southampton, another fortunate win for us as we just sort of scraped past them with a relatively quite poor performance from some of our big stars, the likes of Pella and J. Rodriguez. Of course, Shane Long and Thomas Rosicky came off the bench to actually give us that victory. It says a lot when Vlad Kirchhez is your man of the match. Again, as I usually say this, if you win a game and your man of the match is your centre back or your goalkeeper, then you knew you were in quite a hard goddamn game. But into the second game of this episode is against Sunderland, and of course Sunderland are quite a good team. They have the former legend of the Marcus Mafia, big Stephen Fletcher up front, and yeah, that's really about it. The rest of the team isn't really that good. Giaccherini, Adam Johnson? Yeah, Adam Johnson, and likes of Lee Cattermole in midfield and whatnot. Look at that kit. That kit's horrible. Sunderland's away kit is absolutely disgusting. But anyway, game against Sunderland, we're at home, of course, and us being Southampton, we want to try our best. We want to beat those lower rated teams. Sunderland, unfortunately, come under that sort of category. Not a team we should be getting beat by, not a team we should really be struggling against, but a team which we should be comfortably beating. So, of course, playing one of my stronger teams, of course, Shane Long came in again this time instead of playing Joel Campbell at right midfield. I played Shane Long, so of course, big Long, the big Irishman himself, of course, did a pretty good job in the last game against Tottenham after coming on as a substitute. Wanted to see if he would actually be any good. Of course, Luke Shaw also played in this game. So in the 12th minute of the match here, poor tackle from Gardos gives away a yellow does he get a yellow card? Yeah, he gets a yellow card for that tackle on Stephen Fletcher, and from the resulting free kick, absolutely nothing comes to it. But in the 35th minute of the match here, Fletcher gets a good shot away there, and literally we were getting dominated, which says a lot when they're bloody Sunderland and we are not playing that well. It's really frustrating, as here we see Luke Shaw give the ball very, very cheaply away to the opposition. But in the 42nd minute here, Tadic runs past a couple of players, gets past John O'Shea, gets a shot away, and it goes flying past Vito Manone to go into the back of the net to give us a 1-0 lead at half-time, which was quite undeserved, to be honest. We didn't really deserve to be winning at half-time, considering how poor we had actually been in that first half. You'll see from the stats that what I'm talking about. So, of course, 1-0 at half-time, Wanyama there, for whatever reason, always focuses on Wanyama, and I don't even know why. He doesn't even do much in the game. But anyway, from the stats, as you can see, we had 2 shots, 1 on target, one on target being the goal, and they had 3 shots, 2 on target. So they probably did deserve to actually be some form of a half-time lead. But into the 53rd minute here, Gardos goes flying in on, I believe it's Giacardini, and we get a second yellow card with Gardos and a red card. So with that being into our game, we sort of changed our attacking mentality and went a lot more defensively when it comes to attacking, with J. Rodriguez here getting forward in, well, not defensively, but counter-attacking, and the ball pings out to Tadic, who pops into the back of the net to make it his second goal for 10-man Southampton. So what I really cared about in this game was just keeping it tight at the back, considering we went down to 10 men and whatnot. And at the end of the 83rd minute here, as we can see, Pillar gets the ball back and it does an absolutely fantastic shot, which the goalkeeper makes an absolutely great save from. But of course, trying to get it back here as we're going forward, and of course, they're trying to get forward to score a goal in the last minutes of the match. Of course, I tried to actually keep this quite a lot. It's a big, nice section of the final 10 minutes of the match, which of course adds to it. But Adam Johnson here on his right hand side gives it back to Gleck, who ends up doesn't even cross it in. For whatever reason, the defence do not like to cross the ball in, and I don't know, the opposition never cross the ball in, and I still don't know why. But into the last minutes of the match, I mean, literally, we were under not too much pressure, but Sunderland were doing a pretty good job, but they did like to pass the ball about a lot. It's really weird, as if Sunderland play more like Manchester United do in real life, and Manchester United play a lot more like Sunderland. They play a lot more long balls forward, as Stephen Fletcher here sort of attempts to get the ball away. He attempts to attack, but it doesn't really matter, because 2-0 was the final score. That's really what really matters here. As we beat Sunderland 2-0, of course being down 10 men from about the 50th minute of the match. Again, Gardos not playing. Well, he won't play against Arsenal in the next match of the Premier League. But of course, as you can see there, they dominated us on possession, and again, Alderweireld was man of the match, which again says everything. So into the last match of this episode, it is against Arsene Wenger's side, Arsenal. Of course, as you can see there, they have Danny Welbeck, and they have big Gary Cahill. They actually bought Gary Cahill for whatever reason. Instead of playing him instead of Per Mertesacker, they play him instead of Lauren Koscielny, which makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, so we came into this match, of course, with Font going into the back line to stop Danny Welbeck, and of course we had, because Gardos had a red card, a suspension. So we go up against Arsenal in this last match at the Emirates Stadium, or at the so-called Royal London Stadium, renamed the Emirates Stadium. As we see the Arsenal team there, they have the likes of Theo Walcott, of course, doesn't even play, well, in real life he hardly plays for Arsenal. It's because he's injured. He's been injured for absolutely ages now, but of course, Theo Walcott and Alexis Sanchez and Danny Welbeck up front. They actually sold Olivier Giroud to Manchester City, which is just ridiculous, which is absolutely ridiculous. But into the 18th minute of the match here, Schneiderlin on the ball. Jack Wilshere tries to stop him, can't stop him, and Szczesny is very fortunate that the shot was flying past his far post. But literally a couple minutes later, J. Rodriguez runs past a couple of players, gets a shot away, and again it goes just wide of the post. So basically we're dominating Arsenal completely until it comes to the 32nd minute of the match here, as Jack Wilshere on the ball, tries to play the ball to Mesut Ozil, fails quite badly, and Klein picks it up. Of course, Klein was in form for this match, so nothing was going to stop him from running forward. Absolutely nothing, and he just pings it flying into the top corner from the edge of the box for Nathaniel Klein to score his first goal of the season. Basically, for a right back scoring goals, he hardly ever scores them, but an absolutely fantastic finish from the right back, as he runs basically the majority of he runs half the pitch and then ping it past Szczesny. It's not really the placement of the shot, but more about the actual power. The shot wasn't that well placed, but it was an extremely powerful shot as he scores to make it 1-0 at half time. So at the half-time mark, basically, as you see there, Klein gets the ball back, running off again, gets another shot away from the edge of the D. Well, it's at the halfway mark. But yeah, so he gets another shot away, and Southampton were winning 1-0 at half time, which is pretty good against Arsenal, considering that they're probably one of the better teams in the game. But again, Arsenal have that sort of motive and think of not playing too much in terms of actually playing football. Yes, they pass the ball about a lot, but as you saw at half time, they had 0 shots, and literally coming to the last minutes of the match here, because not much happened in the second half. Arsenal did a lot more defending. Well, I did a lot more defending in the second half, but again, they didn't do too much going forward. And we win 1-0, which isn't too bad against one of the higher rated teams. We're unbeaten in this episode, which is quite good. Last defeat we got was actually against Liverpool, which again isn't too bad. And as you can see there, they had 2 shots in the second half, one of which was on target. And Nathaniel Klein got man of the match because he scored a goal, which basically... That makes sense. So yeah, going into the actual table here in match day 17, of course, there's only 2 more games left before we go into the January transfer window, and we're top of the league on goal difference. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.